Welcome to the Sports Show. Mike Max, Patrick Royce, Lou Nanny, and the one and only Sid Hartman. Very interesting time of the year. Lots of teams in action today and this weekend, Sydney.
What?
Lots of teams in action today and this weekend. Let's start with the Minnesota.
You got the Wild at 1:30.
Yeah, they all played today.
I can't say that.
You did. That's okay. The Wild, you brought it up. Louis did in a strange position. They win 4 in a row. Torchetti this week doesn't go as well. Interesting game today at the X. You were there. But the trade deadline is what everybody's talking about. What do you do?
The trade deadline's not going to mean anything if they don't win. They have
Enough
to beat
games
Colorado.
to be.
No, they got to beat Colorado. Because when you get, I've looked year after year after year, I say the same thing. If you're around March 1st, usually I say last week in February, and if you're 5 points out, you probably got odds 97% against you making the playoffs.
If you're 5 points out of a
playoff spot. So the game with Colorado is a 4-point game. They got to win that game. And they have to then get even and start winning some games that they've been losing. They've been playing good. They should have beat Philadelphia and Washington. They didn't come away with a point. They had some bad breaks in there, but they really got to get something going now.
But this goes back to Patrick's premise with hockey, is they played good, they almost won. Every game you almost win or you almost lose, Patrick.
Well, they're all close.
Yeah.
That's the thing about it.
Yeah, but that puck that Coyle shot was in the net. That wasn't close. Any way you look at it, even one of the New York writers says from that angle it's impossible for that puck not to have crossed the line. But they didn't have enough cameras or the camera in the right position, so they couldn't overturn
Well, the goalie got lucky because the puck was underneath him, so he couldn't see it. So.
Well, and it's coming so fast, by the time the puck comes and hits the paddle, you can't tell that.
All you have
all
to
black,
do is put a
it.
little GPS chip on the pucks.
Yeah, okay.
And it will tell you if it
Why don't
crosses
you do
the
it? You'd
line
probably
or
be
not.
rich.
It's just a little technology. There's no reason that it couldn't be developed. Sydney, do you see any scenario if the Wild don't make the playoffs where Chuck Fletcher comes back and Torchetti comes back, if they don't make the playoffs?
I think Fletcher comes back, but I think there'll be a new coach. There's some pretty good coaches out there. I don't know what Louis thinks of that coach, but I talked to a couple guys who I think know something about hockey, and they don't think that much of him. But he started out pretty good, won 4 straight games, and
struggled a little this week.
Great performance at the TCF Stadium. If they don't make the playoff, he might make some changes. I think he's, for the first time, guys who know him tell me he's all upset.
Craig Leopold you're now talking about.
The owner spending all that money and not playing very good hockey, and he's in the mood to make some changes.
Well, hold it a minute. He's been spending all that money, but he's getting it back.
Yeah,
he was spending all that money in Nashville for about 7, 8, 9 years. They made the playoffs twice or something. And what's the difference? They never had a change in general manager or coach there.
I was going to say that.
That's right.
Yeah.
Perception, Leopold changes coaches. He had Trotz the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And David Poile still there. So, you know, you want to win, but you also have to be pragmatic. You have to take a look. This team has made the playoffs. They've been, since Fletcher's been here, they've been playing very well. And now if they miss the playoffs, what are you going to change general managers? Absolutely not. If they did, I think that'd be the silliest thing they could think of. Look at how many teams have made that mistake. Well,
put it a different way. What does he help?
I'll make you a bet.
Yeah, what's that?
That if they don't make the playoff, the coach or the general manager.
I'm not talking about the coach. I'm talking about the general manager. Obviously, the coach will not be back here if they don't make the playoffs. That's a given because that's why he's an interim coach.
Yeah.
What's the general manager held accountable for in this thing?
For developing players, you know, getting the organization on a solid footing, you know, winning games, making playoffs, all the things that he's done.
I think the thing that would bother me more than anything, if I was Leopold, would be something like being stuck with Pominville for 2 more years, and those kind of deals.
Yeah, it's not. That's the one deal. When you look at it, that's the only thing.
How about the Vanek deal? Good deal, bad deal?
It's a good deal. He's only got 1 year left, and he's giving you 20 goals a year. That's a good deal. And you do that deal again tomorrow. Somebody comes in and gives you 20 goals a year.
I get a kick out of Russo. And he's a pretty good hockey writer, but he was writing about the best material they ever had and everything else, and they're a super team and all that stuff.
He never wrote that.
And all of a sudden now they're going to stink.
Patrick, you never wrote that. You just said.
No, I don't. I think he was optimistic like everybody else.
Sure, they should be. They went 2 years in a row. You go to second round.
But I don't think that. You know, they've been a disappointment. The results certainly have been disappointing, and the goalie hasn't been fabulous like he was last year. So
Right.
Don't make the whole show the Wild like last time.
We want to talk to somebody he knows about.
yeah.
You know what?
We need to talk to something he knows
Okay.
about.
Okay.
All I
So
know-
if they go to the
all I know is he had a show on last night about how hockey in the state is dying.
No, it's not dying. You didn't listen well. He said the high schools in the
And
inner
I didn't
cities,
do this stuff.
and he didn't do the show. The numbers in Minnesota are up. Minnesota still leads the nation. You heard the show wrong.
It's just
Minneapolis
it's
and
only
St.
what
Paul.
pocket you go to,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
I mean,
They're not up.
Well,
I'm on the council. I see the numbers. You
They're
don't see
not
it.
up.
let me put it this way:
St.
hockey,
Cloud
hockey's
Tech
in no
just
threat of
quit
going away.
hockey.
No.
St. Cloud Apollo is going to go together with St. Cloud Tech. So now you go to St. Cloud because I was there this week, and you say, well, what happened? Hang on. What happened is the demographics has changed in St. Cloud.
exactly
So
it.
now they're going to put 2 hockey programs into 1.
Let me tell you something. When Edina starts making moves about hockey, then there's
Made
something
moves?
wrong.
What do you mean?
Yeah, we built a 4th rink. That's a nice
Dinah's
move.
problem is
more ice.
they're trying to get everybody to pay $1,500 a pop for dry land training. That's their problem.
But and
That's- they
that
don't
is,
have a
I got to
problem.
say though, Louis, that is the. I don't know. I don't have my arms around it, but as I see it on the inside a little bit more than the outside is. It is hockey. It is hockey driven by money, and can you? I mean, I'm seeing what's afforded now opportunities for kids year round, but only the kids that can afford those opportunities.
No question about it. Hockey is really an expensive sport to play, and that's what prohibits and limits some of the kids from getting in the game. That's one of the toughest things you got to manage. They're trying to find ways. USA Hockey's doing some stuff where they're trying to get kids involved by making some equipment and sticks and that available, but it's still a very expensive
Yeah,
sport.
and even when they do that, they're still the rich parents are going to be able to afford even more.
I was at the Gopher Michigan game the other night and got there an hour early, and all the little tykes were coming in. They are 7 years old. They weigh 50 pounds, and their hockey bags weigh 70 pounds.
Yeah.
It's the dangest thing. But they were enthused. There were plenty of them. So,
And for all those hockey parents that say to me, hockey's an expensive sport, try gymnastics, brother. Take a break.
How about
The Sports Show is brought to you in part by Cambria, makers of quality quartz surfaces. Ticket King. For the best price on tickets anywhere, try Ticket King. RSM. This is the power of being understood. This is RSM. BMW of Minnetonka. Choose from 60 certified pre-owned BMWs at BMW of Minnetonka. And Bobby and Steve's Auto World. Go to BobbyandStevesAutoWorld.com for huge savings on everything from convenience store items to everything under the hood of your car.
How am I going to afford a car with my bad credit?
You know, CarHop will work around your credit problems to get you approved with a really low down payment.
But what if something breaks down? I definitely can't afford that.
Not to worry. CarHop's 18-month, 18,000-mile warranty is one of the best in the business. Don't wait. You could drive today with CarHop's great tax time specials and still keep most of your tax refund.
That's actually awesome.
CarHop, cars and credit to go.
This is Captain Eve Baxter of the time ship Acheron requesting critical rescue.
How do we know it's not a trap?
I'm in.
I got a bad feeling about this.
Nick's in a dark place. He's not coming back.
You and I were a team. Time to choose a side. Only one of us is walking out of here alive.
DC's Legends of Tomorrow.
See it first Thursday at 7 on CW-23.
An odometer under 15,000 miles and an up to 5-year, 75,000-mile warranty makes it elite. The way it does this makes it a BMW. Introducing BMW Certified Pre-Owned Elite.
Choose from 60 certified pre-owned BMWs at BMW of Minnetonka.
Looking for a nice, big, juicy rack of ribs?
Fabulous chops, huge steaks, and the Buddy Bowl? Then J.D. Hoyt's is the place for you. Hoyt's opened in 1983, and Mike Andrews and his partner John White have kept this Minnesota tradition at the top of the food chain. Managing owner Pat Montague gives us a tour.
At J.D. Hoyt's, enjoy a relaxed atmosphere, great food, friendly service, private dining room, second to none happy hour, just blocks from the new ballpark.
Located at 394 in North Washington. Locally owned, nationally known. Hoyt's.
J.D. Hoyt's Supper Club coming downtown to watch a game or just coming downtown. J.D. Hoyt's is the place to go. It's where sports fans gather to visit and relive and go to and preview. J.D. Hoyt's on Washington. Welcome back to the sports show. So will there be many, before we move on from the NHL, will there be many deals done this week?
I think there's already been a lot of deals done. There'll still be some more deals done. But Chicago's already loaded up. They've made some terrific moves, even though they gave away a lot of future. Talk about giving away draft choice. You talk about the Wild have given a couple second rounds over the years. Chicago's given them 3 first rounds, about 3 second rounds, 4th round, but they're going to win it again.
Last question, then. Does Chuck Fletcher have to be real careful not to sacrifice something from the future if he feels like his job's on the line?
Terrific question, and that's exactly what he has to do. Not because his job's on the line. You don't think that way. You think you think he's got to do it to make certain that this club keeps moving forward, keep the good young players.
Go down to Gophers. Sid, we can talk about all kinds of different Gopher sports. Which one do you want to start with today?
I thought last night was one of the greatest basketball games I've seen the Timberwolves play.
No, we're talking Gophers.
I think the future for them.
They're later.
You're not.
How about Gopher basketball? We saw them late against Illinois. They won 2 this week.
They got a chance of winning the next 3 games. Illinois is terrible. You don't know. They got a chance to win.
But tell me this. Tell me this. I'll start with that. Wisconsin lost everybody from their national runner-up game. Mm-hmm. They lost their coach in the middle of the year, and there they are. Last time I looked, 9-5 in the Big Ten with no talent.
10-5.
10-5.
They got beat by Western Illinois, which is last in the Summit League in the non-conference part of the schedule. So I guess Greg Gard, the only thing we know for sure is Greg Gard will be their coach next year.
That's been sure.
That he can go 10-5 with this collection.
Bo Ryan was a coach in name, but everybody I know connected to Wisconsin basketball was telling me this guy who's intern coach was the real brains behind everything that went on.
Bo Ryan won the Big Ten his first 3 years as the head coach in the Big Ten. He didn't do that with assistant coaches. He did that with Bo Ryan.
I just tell you that guy's been with him.
I know Greg Gard. He's been in the studio with me.
They tell me that.
But Bo Ryan, you can't take anything away from.
This guy's pretty good.
Louis, when people say to you, and obviously this does not apply to hockey, but when they say, if Wisconsin can do it, why can't Minnesota do it when they're talking about other sports? What do you say?
Well, for whatever reason, Wisconsin's been a more attractive place for some of these kids to go to school. They see the past history, they see they've won, and when you get into recruiting, even though they might have lost a lot of guys, people think that they're going to go there and it's just going to continue. So until Minnesota gets on a run, it's tougher to recruit real good players, although I think the class that Patino's got coming in this year is going to be real good. And I really like what he's been able to do in Minnesota. He's starting to get the best players out of here.
I'll tell you why. They make mistakes like they made on Jerry Kill. Jerry Kill could have really helped that organization. They didn't fill the Dan O'Brien job, When they moved Dan O'Brien to football, that job was open. But she didn't want him around. That's the whole reason.
You think Jerry Kill would have accepted a job as the assistant athletic director for football? You think he would have taken that job?
Yeah, not assistant athletic director.
That's what Dan O'Brien was.
He'd taken that job. Yeah.
Well,
okay, let me tell you this. Let me tell you this. It's a tragedy we lost Jerry. He did a great job, and he's a great person, really affected the people. But do you think for a moment, whether it was Jerry or anybody else, do you think if Bud Grant was with the Vikings and when he left, he wanted to stay over top of the football coach, and the coach coming in would accept that? You can't do that. You have to have your new coach be in charge and run the thing.
I get all that, Louis, but here's where people say, jeepers, the University of Minnesota struggle. You got a guy that has proven that he can win, and now you're disassociated with him. I understand exactly what you're saying, but from the public perception standpoint, they say, here's somebody that's moved the ball forward.
Okay, no, hold on. I got a perfect question. If that's the truth, why didn't they keep Glenn Mason? He's won as much as Jerry Kill.
Because they had fired him, he hadn't resigned.
That's the same thing.
It's a different deal.
Yeah, but he doesn't go and bother the coach.
Let me say this.
Grant goes
Dan
as
O'Brien,
much as you
Dan O'Brien, God love him, was a lapdog for Jerry Kill. Jerry Kill called all the shots as the coach for Dan O'Brien. Dan O'Brien, he wanted Dan O'Brien's job maybe, but with power. No, there's no power in that job.
He didn't want Dan O'Brien's job.
I know.
Yes, he did want that job.
Well, he didn't want it under the terms of Dan O'Brien having it.
No.
That is not true.
Oh, Sid.
I know Jerry
Kill
10 times better than you know him.
Sid,
He wanted it.
You said he could do a job as a fundraiser.
He wanted
and a people pleaser, and that's what they wanted him to do.
He just wanted to be
I'm going to tell you what I told Jerry Kill this week, and I told 2 weeks ago and 3 weeks ago. I don't think that he should be in a job where he's a fundraiser. I think he should be in a job where he works with coaches and athletes, wherever that is, because I think that's what he does well.
Dan O'Brien had a job. He was in charge of several sports.
Right.
Not football.
That wasn't a job for Jerry Kill.
He wasn't in charge of it.
He would have taken
He was
the
a liaison
job
man to the athletic director.
department. I know him just as well as you do. I only talked to him 4 times in 2 days.
Well, because you guys know him so well and talk to him so much, that's why you're getting the story that you're getting compared to. He would have been very valuable to the university, but he could not be in a position of overseeing the football coach. You got a new football coach, it's got to be his deal. It's got to be his deal. God love him. I mean, it's the same thing, Mason. You couldn't say, Mason, why don't you come in right now and oversee the football
I get
program?
all that. I get all
Please.
that. I get all that.
You guys are way off kilter.
But take Jerry Kill out of
this. And you lead people down the wrong path.
Take Jerry Kill out of this, Louis. Just say, because he's going to get a job. He's going to do fine, all those things, you know. The university, from the athletic director standpoint, or athletic department standpoint, as you look at it from outside, has never been more fragile. So people are going, where's the strength here? Because everything's in flux right now. Hockey, football, basketball, everything's been changed. You know, the longest tenured coach of the major sports in this town is Richard Pitino.
And why do you think that having killed with the football program is going to keep it from... No, but that's where he's coming from.
If not,
that's where he's coming from. Okay.
If Jerry Kill, just say he goes and works at Southern Illinois. Okay, but where are they going to fortify this? Where are they going to come up with some people that will calm the storm and say, hey, look to me. I'm going to lead us, and I'm going to make sure that we get through this thing.
Anytime you have an organization, you have to have a leader. Somebody's got to be the boss.
Right.
Okay? They got to find out who the boss is going to be. Once the nominee, appoint the boss. I'm not talking about Kill. We're talking about the athletic department. Right. So they have to make the decision to hire the athletic department. Who's the boss of the department?
Athletic director.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's where I come back to Patrick's point originally, which I now see. I think Pete Nigerian has a lot of those qualities.
Well, it'll be interesting. The trouble with him, of course, is he has no background in athletics beyond having played. So I just hope they give him an interview. I'm not even sure they're going to give him an interview.
Yeah, I don't know either. Yeah. Nothing surprises me. Take a break. Come back.
The Sports Show is brought to you in part by Escape MSP, the fastest 60 minutes of your life.
change, Frank. Same time next week.
When it drives and looks like new, you'll want to treat it like new. Certified pre-owned by BMW.
Choose from 60 certified pre-owned BMWs at BMW of Minnetonka.
Hi, I'm John Hines. And Bobby and Steve's Auto World is the place you should come for car washes, oil changes, tires. As a matter of fact, anything and everything under the hood of your car. You're in great hands at Bobby and Steve's Auto World, where serving people is the most important part of their business.
Go into Bobby and Steve's Auto World for great savings on all Michelin and BF Goodrich tires. Plus, get $60 on your World Rewards card. Schedule your appointment at BobbyandStevesAutoWorld.com or just stop in.
You're watching CW-23.
Welcome back to the Sports Show. Oh boy, you see that commercial break. Mike Max, Patrick Gracie, Lou Nanny, and Sid Hartman. We can move on to the Twins as they head down to spring training. Patrick, you'll be there soon.
I'll be there Tuesday. I was down there early for some of the early BP, and of course, all we're waiting to see is Miguel Sano in right field to see if he can catch a fly ball. So, and that starts Wednesday, I guess, is the first exhibition game, and we'll get to see him out there. So,
the Twins had an upgraded season last year, and I don't feel like there's much buzz about them still.
Well, they have done better selling tickets and stuff in the off season. I think their season tickets, instead of continuing the steep decline, have at least leveled off and are gone up a little bit. But I think that there is an element that still feels like the Pohlad should have signed Zach Greinke or something. So
Let me say this: last year when the season started, we thought they would be horrible.
Yep.
And they were horrible to start. They were good to start.
Well,
1-6.
They went on the road.
Good to start. I think that Torrey Hunter was the best move they made. I think they're going to miss Torrey Hunter more than anything they've added.
I think dancing after a game works for 1 year, and then you got to come on and be playing. I don't think that, to me, leadership is the silliest thing. Get a base hit a double.
Is leadership different in every sport?
I don't think so. Leadership is the same everywhere. A good leader is a good leader not because he's just in that one position. He's got the qualities to lead anywhere. But talking about the Twins, I was very surprised USA picked them for last in the division.
Yeah.
That one surprised me, and they picked Chicago for first.
Yeah.
I don't know if Chicago's improved that much.
And also
I always get interested to watch these predictions.
Also, there's some analytics out there that have Kansas City finishing last in the division. I'd like to make that bet.
Me too.
They're counting on a lot of guys, unknowns. Just even that pitcher, what's his name that they're going crazy about?
Barrios.
Oh, yeah.
He won't start the season with.
They don't know if he can pitch in the majors.
They had enough pitchers for the rotation at least
I'm
coming
just saying, they're counting on a lot of guys that have not proved themselves. They don't have a right fielder established.
Do you like the kid from Korea that they signed?
I think Torrey Hunter was such a big influence on that team last year that they'll miss him tremendously.
Okay.
Not if they get hits. If they get hits, then they won't miss them. If they don't get hit, Torrey Hunter had nothing to do with them getting hits.
Take a break, come back.
If you guys could go on a free shopping spree anywhere, where would you go? I'd go to the grocery store. Pizza, ice cream. I'd go shop for clothes. You know where I go? I'd go to Ticket King. Ticket King! At Ticket King, you can buy great seats for the Vikings, the Wild, the Timberwolves, and of course the Twins. We love the Twins! Yep, this is where I go. Vikings, Twins, Wild, Timberwolves, Gophers, theater, and concerts too. For details, go to TicketKingOnline.com. Any ticket, anytime, anywhere. It's the real thing. It's Ticket King. Right, Dad?
Couldn't have said it any better myself.
That's for sure.
Take every step without hesitation. Anticipate your next move with certainty. Because our trusted advisors help you prepare for challenges specific to your business. Our focus is always on you, so your focus is always forward. Experience the power of being understood. RSM, Audit, Tax, and Consulting for the Middle Market.
You're watching CW-23.
Try.
Welcome back to the sports show in our final minute. Timberwolves, you're encouraged by overall or
That was
discouraged?
a great victory last night. The guy that I really think is fantastic, a great competitor, he'll go down as one of the best players, is Levine. He's amazing. He makes free throws when he has to make them. He makes three-pointers when he has to make them.
We're running quick on time, and I wanted to get to sit on set. Quick, Timberwolves thought?
When you're playing New Orleans without Anthony Davis, you should win. That's my thought.
Louis, you just keep the faith with a team like this? What do you do?
You got a good core. You got a couple of good rookies.
It's like playing Edmonton
Young guys.
without Gretzky.
That's right. Yeah.
Do you think the culture is everything then?
Well, no, you need players. Besides culture, you got to have talent. And fortunately for
But
the
you gotta keep
Timberwolves,
good
they got
players
Towns.
happy.
They got Wiggins. I think they're going the right direction.
Okay, finally. We get to that juncture of the story where Sid Hartman gets to sit front and center. Now, I know you're not going to talk about hockey because we've talked
Football
about
starts tomorrow. It's going to be very interesting how good this new recruiting class is, which they think is the best one they've had since they've been there. They got a good schedule. They should have a good football season. You have a winner for once in one sport.
And generally, you give us a little something about the optimism of the red shirts. You're usually pretty optimistic about the red shirts.
They got some good red shirts, too.
Yeah, that will be eligible now, right?
Yeah.
Okay, heard it here first. The red shirts will be a factor from Sid Hartman. We'll be back here next week taking a look at all that is wonderful in the world of sports in Minnesota. Thanks for watching. See you back here next week. Have a good week, everybody.
Should have seen the off.
The Sports Show is brought to you in part by Cambria, makers of quality quartz surfaces. Ticket King. For the best price on tickets anywhere, try Ticket King. Escape MSP, the fastest 60 minutes of your life. RSM. This is the power of being understood. This is RSM. BMW of Minnetonka. Choose from 60 certified pre-owned BMWs at BMW of Minnetonka. And Bobby and Steve's Auto World. Go to BobbyandSteve'sAutoWorld.com for huge savings on everything from convenience store items to everything under the hood of your car.